Welcome to the Straight Red Card, and as part of the ongoing MLS fan group series, we have founder and president of Club Quake, which is one of the team supporters clubs, founding board member of Soccer Silicon Valley as well, and a little known fact about Mr. Mike Turco is that he also commissioned the Landon Donovan Pinata that was featured on ESPN when he jumped ship to join the Galaxy in 2005. Mike Turco, welcome to the show. And did they end up busting up that pinata?
Oh, they certainly did. Thanks for having me, guys. In fact, if you go back and find the highlights on the MLS website, you'll see JP Delacamera and Eric Winalda commenting, and Winalda comments that they took his head right off with one swing of the bat on that pinata.
That's great. Who finished it off? Was it Winalda?
No. Unfortunately, it was the little kids. We did it all for charity, so we collected $1 a swing and loaded it up with all kinds of candy and soccer toys, and kids were real happy with it. And it was just a fun afternoon. Landon took it in stride.
No one got hurt, I hope.
Absolutely not.
Okay, good. Now we have a big season ahead of us here at San Jose because you guys, I think, foiled a lot of preseason predictors last season who didn't think you guys were going to do all that well, and then you ended up doing pretty decent. And one of those reasons, of course, was Wando had a great year, and Bobby Convey sort of came to a fore and sort of regained form. But I do have to ask you, we're working on this brand new season. Are there any major signings that fans are eager to see there? And were there any impact players that might have left the club in this past few months?
Yeah, well, absolutely. It wouldn't be a new Quake season without a lot of changes and shuffling our lineup. Right. And, if you'd asked a couple weeks ago, I think the biggest anticipation was for Steve Lenhart coming in from Columbus. Mm-hmm. Anyone that we could get up front that was going to play off Wando, be able to hold the ball, maybe, offer some physical play up in the front and wear down the opponents during the game. We were kind of thinking he might be our guy, if we can at least get the ball up there to the forwards and make something happen. But just now a week or so ago, the team got back from their training stint in London at Tottenham Hotspur, and, word is that we might be getting ready to sign a young midfielder on loan from them named Simon Hawkins. And apparently he played with us quite extensively during that trip. The players liked him. He fit in well with the system. I know Joey Jertson commented really liked playing alongside of him. Frank Gallup's made some quotes about liking the style of play and thinking that he could really settle in and do a lot. And he may be that sort of attacking midfielder that we've been needing for a long time to sort of, dictate the offensive run of play a little bit.
Is he one of the young guys coming up through the Tottenham system?
Yeah, he is. He's had some injury problems, I guess, and sort of sat out for a while. So it appears that maybe he coming to us on loan might be a chance for him to Tottenham to see if he's regained form, if he's past his injuries, see if he can stand up to a season of physical play, and if he's kind of ready to go or not. And certainly he fits in well with what we need, to help out our offense and help score some goals. So I would say he's probably the most anticipated signee at the moment, and we're waiting to hear whether they're going to be able to make that deal happen.
So what you're saying is this is San Jose's version of Charlie Davies.
Exactly.
Now
we were talking about Wando. Jumping back to him, any idea where he might be placed this year? I mean, is he going to be used as strictly as a striker? Or will he be thrown back into the midfield and also the striker? Because he has been recycled throughout the field, basically wherever fits best against teams. But
well, the interesting thing is he certainly fits the same mold that Frank Gallup has for many of his players. He likes journeyman guys to come in, guys that have a tremendous work rate that are willing to play anywhere within the system. That said, he's coming off the bench because of injury last year, having this real breakout year and scoring 18 goals. He seems to be great when he's up around the box and can actually be, poking the ball in. But in this off season, there's been a lot of talk about trying to generate more opportunities and more offense by actually pulling him into a withdrawn role and making him either a withdrawn forward or a bit of an attacking midfielder. So there's still some decisions to be made, I think, as the season gets ready to get going.
As far as losses of players go, I know you guys had Geovanni last season.
Sure.
He only played, I think, 12 games. He did manage to score a goal, but he's on his way back. Of course, he's already well on his way back to Vitória in Brazil. What was, in your opinion, the reason for not holding on to him? I know you guys are holding on to Andre Luiz, who is far older. He's 36. I mean, the guy's been everywhere, of course. Andre Luiz played for Corinthians and Sao Paulo and PSG. I mean, the guy's been around the block, but he seems to be a little bit older, and while Geovanni was only 31, was he just too expensive, or what was the deal there?
I don't know. On the field, I think the biggest concern among the fans is that he just didn't have that sort of he didn't make an impression as a game changer for us. His work rate was good. He did make some things happen. He certainly changed the complexion of the team a bit, but it was not dramatic. Not designated player dramatic.
Right.
So, I think from a on the field perspective, I think that's one of the reasons why they decided not to renew. There's other rumors floating around about, the way the contracts were structured, how he was paid, what he was paid, that sort of thing. And I don't know what if that is true and what isn't at this point. So I think probably the field part of it is really the part to seize on. He just didn't seem to make the impression that a designated player is expected to make.
Yeah. And then you have some young guys coming up. You have a young Gambian, Omar Jasse, and he has had, of course, grew up and came up through his youth, through the youth systems in Chelsea and Charleston Athletic, and he did manage to play 4 games last year. Any word on his development as we head into the new season?
I have not heard a lot about him so far in the preseason, although, he's certainly being counted on to be one of those off-the-bench kind of sparks for us. People recognize that, he comes in and definitely brings some pace. He's probably one of the faster players on the squad. He did kind of light things up a bit in the limited amount of time we saw him last year.
Yeah. And the other question, there's another guy, of course, you guys picked up, as everyone seems to be picking up players from the Akron Zips. Anthony Takwong, did I get that even close to right? I'm not sure, but I guess as Brett told me earlier today, his combine performance was okay. But any news on his development in camp?
The word is he's been doing very well in camp. And let's see if I can try to pronounce the name right. Mpai Pitakwan, I believe, is how he say it.
Well, that was actually pretty close on my guess.
There you go. And the fans are calling him Mpai for short, which is just much easier.
Might as well.
That's what I'm
I think so. I guess the kit guy for the Quakes is going to have a tough time trying to keep him in letters for the back of his jersey and Wondolowski in letters for the back of his jersey. It's going to be an interesting year on that side. But yeah, he's word is he's done well. He's obviously been signed and is officially on the roster at this point. We're kind of hoping that he comes on and has that sort of breakout type year that Icopara had last year for us. It's exciting to be bringing on rookies that can make a difference and really change games, right out of the gate. So it'd be nice to see if that happens.
Speaking of Parra, I mean, it's a shame that he had to suffer the injury. I think it was a broken foot, correct?
Correct. Yeah, he had a fracture in his ankle, I believe.
It was a shame that he had to suffer that because he started the season off so strong, and he would have been in the running for Rookie of the Year. Any idea? I mean, is he back up to full strength? Is he ready to roll? I mean, how's he been doing this preseason?
From what I've heard, he is playing. He's playing at full strength, and he's been out there. He definitely brings. He's a nice presence in the back for us. I know, calming presence, but a real athletic guy. And people have noted that he's one of those guys in the back that actually has the poise and the presence to not just boot the ball upfield, a la the old kind of Clash years, and will actually pick his head up and look to combine with other players and move the ball up the field a bit. So, and he was our second leading scorer last year.
Yeah.
He had 3 goals.
Yeah. Hey,